Giving it all we got, giving it all we can, giving it all we got. Oh, climbing up to the top of the world, no fear, we're gonna make it. Everything we want is ours. Whoa.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Craig here. And my daily life here on the Thai farm. So what have you guys been up to, man? You guys like my hat? This hat actually designed to keep it cooler. Not just because it's a wide brim hat, but because the inside doesn't allow your head to get to the top, so the air circulates through there. And yeah, man, so we had some rain and it has filled our coffers, but more accurately, the rain filled the drainage canals out on the road, and then they access all the ponds or the fields. So that's what we've done here. We have taken advantage of that. Oh, somebody's burning. What are you burning over there? Whoa there. Wait, they're clearing some land over there too. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so the water's come in and you can take a look. Boom. So our fields are flooded. Getting ready, these are kind of absorbed already. Getting ready to plant the rice. This has still got to be tilled again. It already got tilled once. And then it'll be rice time. The pond, bam. Oh, there you go, buddy. You can see the water level is like almost there where the bridge is. That's a fine water level. I mean, in a high season, it will get all the way up, you know, almost to the tree there, but there's plenty of water in here now. I mean, it's not super deep. If I stood right there, I could put my hands on the bridge. So that would mean the water is probably about a little higher than waist high, so a little over a meter, maybe a meter and a half. And that's all right for fish over there. If you remember over here, I put 4,000 fish in here just like last week, I guess. And this, whoa, it's starting to sink because the water's getting saturated. But the water level is already right up here, even with the rice level. This goes down up to about, what is that? That's about, this whole run here is about as deep as my shoulders, right? So it's pretty deep in here and pretty wide. Right now you can see from the green, it's all full of pakbong, or otherwise the morning glory. Plenty of edible for the fish. And we put the 4,000 fish in here, little fish, and I'm sure they start chewing on this right away. Although it was only a little bit when we first did it. This stuff grows like massive, grows a whole, I bet I could do a time lapse on this and watch this stuff just grow in a single day. But anyway, so some of these fish undoubtedly have gone out into this area, into the wet part, which is okay, and that's kind of what we want them to do. We actually put, when we emptied the pond over there, we did put some of the bigger catfish that we didn't sell or whatever. We tossed them in there, and they might have already got their way out of there. What are you swimming around eating stuff? But yeah, man, that's chock full. We get any more rain, it's really gonna go there, and we might wind up seeing those fish flying around in there. But they're tilapia, so they don't really like to migrate as much as a catfish does. But this morning we went out and got 5,000 more fish. So those fish I'm putting in the two catchment nets that we put over here. And if you remember from a previous video, I showed you that the water level was so low in here, man. That's why I actually put those 4,000 fish over there, because the water was still, you know, still a good meter or so high in there, so it could get the fish. Over here it was so low that these nets were only like that much underwater. But now, and you can take a look here, Now, with all there's plenty of water in here now. So you can see there's only a little bit of net left. And so I got 10 bags. Each bag, they've been sitting in here for a little bit, trying to get them, you know, acclimate a little bit. They've been sitting in there. There's 500 fry, you could call them baby fishes, in each bag. 10 bags, 5,000 fish. That costs 1,500 baht, which, if you do the math, that's I don't know, $45 or something. Let me see. 50 baht or $50 would be 1,800 baht, and so 300. That's about 10. So yeah, give or take 40 bucks. 40 bucks for 5,000 fish. Now check this out for all you fish farmers out there, otherwise not fish farmers, but aspiring fish farmers, or maybe you're thinking about, especially if you're in Thailand, I should probably say, and you're thinking about, gosh, you know, what should I do with my ponds and how many fish should I put in there and all that stuff. Well, if you think about it and you do the math, the fish sell, I mean, we sell the fish when they get big, of course, we sell them for about 50 baht per kilo. Now that would typically be 2 good-sized fish, and but that's again 50 baht per kilo. So if you took half of that, or if you took one fish could, if you're going to sell one fish, if you sell 2 fish for a kilo, that would mean, and at 50 baht, that would mean basically 25 baht for one fish, right? But you know, the fish vary in size. So if you can get your fish, if you wait just a little bit longer and they're bigger, then what's going to happen is, average, that one fish would be worth about $1. So here I put 5,000 fish in there. That's going to be $5,000 US, and I paid, what did I just say, 40 bucks. So if you put an investment of 40 bucks and you were going to take out 5,000, you'd say, holy shit, sign me up. But of course, not all these fish are going to live, and I got to keep the birds out before they, you know, eat them all. I'm probably going to cover it with more netting. And then, you know, we give away tons of fish to the temples and the festivals, and we eat a whole bunch and all this and all this. But I can't imagine that we would eat or that we would lose basically 5,000, you know, fish. So even if we, let's say we lost, gave away, and otherwise only collected on 1,000 fish, that would still be $1,000 off of the 40 bucks. And mind you, I just put in 4,000 over there, so that's 9,000. So typically we let those fish grow, that's $9,000 if we don't feed them and we take care of them and capture them all, right? We feed them, it's about 400 bucks a bag, 400 baht a bag, and the bag's good for a couple weeks. But over there, we're not feeding those 4,000. We're gonna let nature take its course. Here, we might very well start feeding them, although this pond, typically we don't feed a whole lot in this pond. That pond over there, the one that's just halfway filled now, that pond is usually the pond where we do all the feeding. So, and we want to kind of wean away from that. We want to see if the natural environment with all the vegetables, and of course there's tons of fruit that we keep you know, throwing in here for the fish to eat. As a matter of fact, if you look, all this stuff here, all these pieces of fruit that are falling from the trees like every single day, they're also falling right into those nets, and they'll get soft, and the fish, even the little tiny, you know, tilapia, will be in there going, and they'll be eating that a little bit. So if we can hold off from spending money on the fish other than buying them, then that will maximize the amount of money on the return. So I'm making, and there's some big old fish in here. We're gonna have to definitely let these fish get big inside these nets before I release them into the main part of the pond, because otherwise those will get eaten by a snakehead or a catfish or even other tilapia or whatever, or sucker fish out there maybe. But Yeah, so I hope that I can keep track of this. You know, I have to remind my wife that she needs to tell me if she's feeding these fish, or otherwise if she's bought anything to contribute to this. Because we tried it in the past, all this fish that we had the last time when we emptied the ponds and all that stuff. I tried to do some math on there, and there really weren't no money to be made. I mean, we probably gave away 1,000 fish, and then of course that last day when we drained the pond and everybody that helped took off, took away big old bags of fish and everything like that. So that's not a problem. But there should have been a hell of a lot more fish in there, because we put 3,000 or 4,000 fish in that pond. And I didn't see no 3,000 or 4,000 fish come out of there. Hell, I didn't even see 1,000 fish come out of there. So I don't know where they all go, but I want to definitely have to check it out. I don't think we got, when people talk about stealers coming in and scooping up all your fish, I don't see that either. And now I got security cameras over here now anyway, so if that happens, I will be able to see it. Yeah, and I'll hopefully be able to see at least how many fish they might have taken. But for the most part, I think we're good here, and I'm gonna look for a little bit of profit maybe on this fish market, because I mean, obviously I'm not gonna make $9,000 off of, well, that was 40, and then now it would have been 30, so $70, about 70 bucks worth of fish, turning it into $9,000 worth of fish. Holy shit, that's a good deal. But again, you're looking at 6, 8, 9 months worth of growth if they can get that big, or a year if we want to get them really bigger. But like I say, this pond here, and I said in previous videos, this pond, for some reason the fish grow twice as fast as they did over there. So maybe if they're all over here this time and we don't put them over there, they'll grow really fast and healthy and big quickly, and maybe in 6 months time we can do it again. And then if that's the case, if I was able to make, let's say you made 5 or 10, let's say you made $5,000 twice a year, so you made $10,000. That's an extra 360,000 baht for that annual deal. The rice, hell, the rice out there, we'll grow the rice through all that. Even if you do it twice a year, you go through 2 rice deals, you're after all the equipment and all that stuff, you're pocketing maybe 20,000 baht. Done. And wouldn't you rather pocket 360,000 baht? And that's half of what the expectation is. If by some miracle we were able to capture all 9,000 fish, you'd make 720,000 baht. So if I had the full-on operation out here where I put up big old, corrals, tons of fish in there. Some guy at the fish thing, matter of fact, when we were there, the guy bought 70,000 fish. He's got a big, he said he's got like a whole rye or something like that pond. But anyway, if we put corrals in here and we actually farmed the fish and took good care of them and fed them, we probably, at that level, we could probably still make a shit ton of money, even though we were feeding them. But I'm gonna have to say that would be a lot of work too. So the idea is here, I want to set it and forget it, and then I'll have some fish to eat, to sell, and to play with. All right, well, let's cut some bags open. So there's 2 nets. I'm gonna put 5 bags in each one. So basically there's gonna be 2,500 fish in each one of these. Hopefully there's not a big old hole in the bottom of the net. In which case, if there was, yeah, well, there goes the whole plan. battery went out there. And as I'm doing this, I go over to this other pond and I'm looking in here at the other bags and I see a little bit of nature. See if I can get you a picture of this before the guy escapes. See him? Little tree frog. These fish should be able to thrive here. You know, it's really well shaded. They definitely have, like I say, the fruit bombs fall in here. They can eat off there. You can see they're already kind of getting to the surface, thinking, hey, what's that? What's that? It's a new environment. And it's definitely a new environment for them because they were birthed and grew up basically the last couple weeks in a very controlled environment. The water wasn't perfectly clear and clean because they use well water and stuff over there, but there wasn't any debris or anything in there. They don't put toys in there for the fish when they sell them like this. So here they get a chance to get closer to nature. And for the most part, you know, like I say, fish should be a low maintenance operation. You buy them, you throw them in there, set them and forget them, and hopefully you get a whole shitload of fish afterwards. Yeah, I just I got this is my tiller attachment for the bush cutter, right? These bush cutters, you can put anything on the end of this. It's got all kinds of stuff. It really just works off of a single spindle that turns. They got a whole bunch of different attachments. I saw one, I actually see my cart on Lazada. It's an attachment that is actually a prop for the boat, like a long-tail boat. You make like a long-tail boat out of your bush cutter. I mean, that's what long-tail boats are really, not so much bush cutters. They have bigger motors, but you know, I could just put a little trolling motor on it. It's like 10 bucks or something. You just bolt it on there the same way you do that and you're like, bang. I have yet to buy it, so I have yet to try it, but I could probably do that. Bring my bush cutter into my little blue boat out here and bang, that'd be cool. I had to till up my wife was like, hey, she pulled up her old crop from the garden, whatever, the, you know, onions and broccoli and all that stuff, and she said, yeah, y'all can you please till this? So I really just took that over here and tilled this. You can see it's all nice and pretty. I tilled up that dirt. I didn't do these two, she was doing something with that, but I tilled those two back ones, these ones. I think this is all onion right here. And she's gonna do some I think she's gonna do broccoli again. These are tomatoes that are still, they'll regenerate. But that was fun. My old bamboo ladder is I cut it here because what my wife wants to do, this plant here, which is like a vine slash tree, it's gonna get pretty big and wonky or whatever. So I'm gonna take this, set it like this, and then put that like that, so when I stand it up, it'll have this flat ladder T on the top and then ladder going up. That should give it plenty of room to hang the stuff from, and as well as climb up it, because it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like a tree. It's much stronger. Yeah, there's also still, like I say, there's still plenty of big old fish in this pond, and I know they really enjoy the much more water now, and you know, you got them growing out some more of that pakbong and the fruit that's in there. They've been jumping around, frolicking. because we're like, yeah, buddy, more water. Those two ponds, they have a groove down the middle on both sides, so it's a deeper trench, like Mariana's Trench that over there. And they've been hiding down there since it was low water. Stayed cool, but now plenty of water. Everybody's out and about, running around. Alrighty, well, hey man, what else I've been doing is I have basically finished the tent job on my A-frame up here. Boom. Check it out, man. It was not easy, like nothing is around here when you're 60, damn near 66 years old. But it worked out, man. I'm happy with it. This will be basically what it looks like on the inside, waterproofed. And right now, you can see it's just laced up. What I did was I put grommets on the edges of both sides, because I had earlier tried to figure out how I was going to do this. And I was just going to wrap it and roll it and maybe zip tie or whatever, but then I thought, man, there's a lot here. So I thought, you know what I'll do is I'll put grommets on everything and I'll shoelace this thing back and forth, pull it as taut as I can. It probably wouldn't be perfect because it's not perfect. I had the the opening was never an issue. I could wrap it pretty good, but back here I had a cross brace welded in here, and at the bottom I couldn't do that. I didn't want to cut this thing up, you know. So I wound up cutting, using my grinder, my favorite tool, to cut these bars out and then wrap this thing like it should be, like I wanted it or whatever. And then with this extra bar, or with the bar cut off, I wound up taking it back and just using the metal screw, you know, and to tap it straight into the bar here. So at least I got it back, because I want that, you know, I want some of that stability here. I was gonna put the short one up here, I still have it laying here, but I didn't know. Man, don't tell me that's an ant on my neck. Yeah, it was pretty crazy doing this stuff. Getting it to this point, if you watched the previous video, you saw how all that bamboo had fallen off and I was gonna make a bamboo thing. Well, I did actually toss all that stuff off before I put this on here. I got it laying up over next to that bamboo. But one of the things that happened, I did take video of me doing some stuff here, so I'll show you that video. But one of the things that'll happen, or that happened, was that I had this string up there and I didn't bring any scissors with me or anything to cut it. And I thought, dang, I need to cut it. I need to cut this one piece of string. And so I figured, I don't know, I'll use my grinder and I'll just tap it and cut that piece of string. Yeah, well, you'll see from the video clip, yeah, that didn't actually work out that way. I ain't gonna lie, man, that thing gave me the jitters. I got the depth grip on it, you know, for a kickback. It's not gonna kick back, but this is the, you know, Makita, and it's a stronger one, right? 3.9 amps, 850 watt. You know, my other one was probably half that. I killed that one. But anyway, gotta do it, man. Well, of course I didn't have the camera rolling, but I think those holes in my glove and that one right there on my ring are from string, like whipping string. So what I did was, in my infinite wisdom, I don't have any scissors up here or whatever, and I tried to cut a little piece of this off And I did that by just laying it on the ground and taking my grinder and kind of going yank and cut it. But this is what happened. Don't cut string with a grinder. Dude, that thing flew up. I was afraid that the string was gonna wrap around my hand or something. So I just tossed the grinder to the side and yanked the plug out, killed the power. And of course the blade is totally gone. I don't see any of the blade left at all. There's a little bit probably under the bolt, but the whole blade is gone. I do not see any of it here at all. Literally, not even a chunk. So I don't know where it all went, but thankfully it didn't go flying in my face. That thing, boom, it could have wound up in my face. But I survived. I thought it just disintegrated and blew all everywhere. That's what I thought. That's what I just mentioned in the video, but in the clip. But when I was down here picking up all the pieces and cleaning up and stuff, I actually saw the blade, and there it is right there. Whoa! So the string got behind it. It wrapped up behind the blade and then just popped the blade off that way. Ruined it, of course, but it just popped the blade off, so it didn't shatter. In some ways, I was probably lucky. But yeah, but I got that done. Now all I have to do is, I'm gonna do that a little bit later, I think today, is after I get done with all this, is to go buy the tin. I've decided I'm gonna put colored tin roof over that, and that's gonna be I don't know, I guess I was thinking maybe I could get like that turquoise blue or something like that, or you know, the emerald green, maybe the green. You know, I pretty much got all the roofs here in that, you know, wood, what do you call that, compatible with wood kind of colors. I mean, you got the house, and I picked that brown tile for that. The roof on there was that, you know, I don't know what we call it now, adobe color or something like that. I did the orange on the awning going out this way, same one coming here. That's the old tin roof that was on there, no color, cheap stuff. And it's not that much different. The regular tin color is about maybe 7 baht, you know, per meter, and then the colored stuff is like 9 baht, so it's not terribly more expensive. But if you're gonna do like a big old roof and all that stuff, then it adds up, I suppose. But I'm just gonna do that right there. All I gotta do is put tin on the outside of that, put tin on the outside of that. Gotta work on what am I gonna do for the back. Am I gonna seal it up? Am I gonna leave it to a pass through? I do want to do other stuff, obviously I'm gonna do that, but next stop is for the tin. My bird's nest over here, I don't think anybody's coming back now. It's coiled up inside, which means it's drying out, which means I can probably get in there and whack that after all. Yeah, I've known I've done some other stuff, but I can't remember it all. Like I said, the main pond out here is pretty good shape. It's got about a meter, a little shy, I guess, of a meter's worth of water in it. And yeah, I can't remember. I made a whole bunch of different videos. I made like 6 or 7 videos, and I haven't posted them because, you know, they're all the same stuff on this or whatever. I don't know. I put more wood on this one, so I got that guide now. I can back up my truck easy enough without running into stuff. But and the pond here, pretty cool. Doesn't have any more lilies, but they'll start coming up soon enough. I did my markings there on that post. That's 1.5 meters right there. That bottom thick one there, that's 1 meter. So it looks like it's about 3 inches from 1 meter, and that's measured to the center of the pond. So it's more shallow over here, but the center of the pond is, you know, just shy of 1 meter. And there's still fish and other stuff swimming around in here from the ones, oddly enough, that were buried in the mud for the month and a half or whatever, when it didn't have any real water. They figured out how to come out of hibernation, because I see things swimming around in here. And the only way for them to get here is to either come out of the mud, or otherwise, I suppose, all things considered, when all the canals are on the outside, got all the water from the irrigation, it brought with it, you know, fish and stuff, I'm sure, from other places. And sometimes those fish run into an area where they start eating on the shoreline, then they start climbing up, you know, like a climbing perch, or plamo. They'll climb up and over and into the water here, because they know there's water. It's like the walking catfish thing, right? They know where the water is, so they can walk across the street to get to the other side where the other water is. And then you wind up with that snakehead or something in there, because it got out of there. It got here from the backside of the farm canal. Yeah. Life on the Thai farm. Oh, as a matter of fact, I was going to show you. Maybe I'll show you later. So, my truck, man, you know, the automatic window opener, you got the one button that's auto. I mean, they're all auto, but the one driver's button, you just touch it. You don't have to hold it open or whatever. It don't work no more. And I found that out because a while back I had a dead battery, and I was like, what the hell? And then I remembered something, and that was that my auto switch was stuck in the open position, and that just drained the battery over 2 days or whatever of being on. And so I just, of course, just got to run the truck, and I knocked that thing back down. And anyway, yesterday the damn battery went dead again too, because I hadn't driven in a day or two. And I was like, what the hell? I have a new battery in there. It's less than a year old. And then after I went to the battery place where we bought it, I had him check it and stuff. He goes, man, you're all good. It's 80%. It's still pretty good. And then it dawned on me, oh, it's that damn switch. Because I remember I couldn't roll my window down. Yeah. But, so what I did was I just went straight on Lazada, and I was looking for, I took it out, and I looked at it and stuff, and it was just the one switch that's attached to the motherboard or whatever. And I thought, oh, maybe I can just buy that switch. But, you know, as it is, they sell that whole thing with the toggle switches and everything. That whole thing was like 500 baht, so whatever, 15 bucks. So I just ordered a new one on Lazada yesterday. It should be here in a couple days, and then I'll just swap out the whole thing. That'll be good for another 10 years. Whoa. Anyway, the canal here, the back canal looks pretty full. Did you see that? I might be able to get that. Another fish or frog or something jumped right there. That's where I was sucking the water out of here to fill my pond. Now you can see the fields are all ready for rice. You got that one lone rice guy out there. That's a walk-behind tractor, but he's got that little metal seat cart behind it. You just hook it on there in the back of your, in the back of the tow hitch, basically, for the tractor. It's really just a rebar set of wheels, and then a kind of another rebar flat seat for your butt. Because clearly, if you got 5-10 ride that you're going to be doing that for, and when you're doing it with a manual tractor or a walk-behind tractor, and you are walking behind it in your bare socks or whatever, that'd be pretty tiring. So you got to get one of them little metal seat things. You see them all around Thailand. I remember when I first saw them, like somebody will have them in their garden, maybe there's flowers on it, or at a coffee shop or this or that, and you think, oh, that's one of those. But that's not what they're for. They're actually for that. I mean, it looks like at some of these coffee shops and stuff, it looks like somebody made that for that purpose, or it was, one of those ones that get pulled behind a water buffalo, when you're on the thing, and you probably could pull it behind a water buffalo, but this is the original water buffalo, that walk behind tractor, and that's what they're made for. Pretty cool. I just thought, when I was thinking about that fish or whatever was jumping, I need to put the trap back in here. I need to get me a new trap and set it back here. I could probably catch all kinds of stuff right now. As the season changes and all the water's moving, starts going through all the farms and everything like that. All the fish get scared that have been hanging out, or turtles or whatever, and they're gonna be running through here. And I'm gonna get that done, man. Whew. Starting to heat up. I'll wait till it cools down a little bit before I go deal with that tin. But it is green season. You can see, look at that, man. All this stuff growed up in the last week or so. I'm gonna have to get in here with another bush cutter. Start cutting stuff down. All right, man. Well, hey, hope you like those updates here with my life on the Thai farm. Thanks for watching, and keep watching for more farm stuff here on the Binoc.